Should we do injuries first? How are Jack Payne and John Taylor?
John Taylor will miss out this week. Jack Payne's back in, and so's Luke James. So we're all good. Towles is the only one, obviously, in the two long-term injuries. So we should have a strong squad to pick from.
In terms of Taylor, is that going to be sort of reassessing in the summer now and have a look at that knee and see how it's getting on? Because it's been an ongoing problem, hasn't it, for a good few months?
Well, my priority for Towles now is to make sure that he's fit and ready and raring to go next season. Make sure that he comes back fit and strong on the 29th of June and that he's ready and raring to go, and that's the priority. It's been a long ongoing problem for him all season that after he picked up an injury in Portugal pre-season, and it's nibbled and played at him, but he's an exciting talent and a very good player, and we just want to make sure that he's ready for next year.
No Cozzy, obviously he's now suspended for the last two matches of the season. Does that perhaps hand an opportunity for Joe Newell to come back in and show what he can do at left wing back?
Yeah, well, it'll offer opportunities to other players. Cozzy's been excellent for us in the last 12 games, but it opens up other opportunities, and we'll have a look at that. Joe would obviously be a natural selection to play on the left-hand side, so we'll obviously have a look at that with our team selection.
This is a huge game for Crawley, isn't it? And I know, although it's not an important game in terms of points for you, you want to finish off, particularly at home, on the right note, because it hasn't been the happiest of hunting grounds this season, so you want to finish in the right way.
Yeah, definitely. We made a point when we very first came in before the Bradford game, and I remember quite clearly in my team talk I said to the players, we need to make London Road a fortress. This is a place where teams come and they know it's going to be very, very difficult for them, and in the 6 games that we've played there, we've only lost one. We've been strong. It's been a really good place for us. The players enjoy playing there. We enjoy the experience and the days and what we've achieved there. So we'll be wanting to make sure that we keep that form and that momentum going into next season. It is a massive game. It's a massive game for Crawley. They're 3 points off the drop zone, and I think that they'll feel that they only need one more, and that'll make them secure. But we've done well there. We know that it's going to be a good game for us. It's the last game of the season. We want to make sure that the fans go away knowing and looking forward to next season that's what this group of players can do and what we can do as a management staff. So we'll be wanting to make sure that it's a fortress and keep it that way.
And you'll feel a duty to the other teams down near the bottom as well, that you make sure you give Crawley a good game, because there's plenty at stake, not just for Saturday's opponents but for all of the teams around them in the division.
100%. It's important that we remain professional in everything that we do. We'll be wanting to win every game, but we are planning and building for next year, and that will be our focus and our outcomes that we're looking for, but we'll want to do that in winning ways, because that's what we'll be looking to take into next season.
Dean Saunders has actually done a very good job, hasn't he, under difficult circumstances. He's dragged them within an inch of safety now, and his record has been pretty strong for a team that was struggling for a lot of the season.
Yeah, he has done well. He's made them well organised. He's got them well structured. They have a clear game plan and a clear focus on what they want to do. But we know that we've done our work on that this year and on what we're doing, and we'll be focusing this week obviously on ourselves and planning our way. We know that defensively we've been excellent at London Road. We're not conceding that many goals, so we'll continue with that by playing our high pressing game that we have done, and the bit that we want to do is we want to make sure that we continue to play the style of playing the football that we want to play. We played in a real winning way in the first 6 games, and we won 5 of them, and we're now starting to develop for next year and play a little bit more of an open, expansive style of play. So that's what people will see. We're going to be bullish. We're going to be brave, and we're going to be going all out for it this weekend, and it should be a good game.
Yeah, certainly being tighter at the back has been a feature since you took over, and you need to be that against McLeod this weekend, because he's a player with a real eye for goal and has got 21 in all competitions this season.
Yes, he has, and but when you look at our back 3, they've been solid. When we've played with a back 4, which we could do at the weekend, then we've been solid in that format as well. So whichever way we decide to play and whichever way we decide to go. I have every confidence in those in the defenders because if they've been fantastic. But everyone's responsibility in the team is to defend as well, as is everyone's responsibility to score goals. We've only scored 52 goals as a club this year, which is way short of where we want to be, and we'll need to be building on it next year. And equally, as the team have done brilliant at defending, there'll need to be goals really to support Connor Washington, who's in form at the minute from all over the park, and that includes the defenders when they come up for set pieces, that includes our wingers and our wing backs when they need to be going and joining in, getting in at the back post and scoring goals, and also from our midfielders because we're the top scorers from outside of the penalty area, with 17 goals of our 52 coming from outside of the box.
Don't know if you heard this week, but Gabby Zakwani did an interview with us and gave a real ringing endorsement again of your credentials to be the full-time manager. I know a player will come out and say, well, I like the manager, I want him to stay, but it seemed genuinely heartfelt and very sort of behind what you're doing. How nice is that to hear from a senior player? Well,
I was unaware of that, to be fair, but it was great that if that's how Gabby feels, that he's come out and said that publicly. My feeling is that most of the players feel that way because of what they've done. Is they know that what we needed to do when we first came in was to make sure that we were more organised, we was more structured, that at the end of the day we've put a team together who was accused of not being able to defend and made them defensively much better by playing a high pressing game. Everybody knows here that we're now trying to develop and work towards next season in playing our attacking style of play that we're looking to do. And to be fair to all of the players, they've all bought into that. So we're really happy. The players are happy. We're positive about next year, and we're working towards that.
And it's important, isn't it? If you've got someone like Gabby, who's obviously well respected in the camp, if he's talking for the squad, that's important. You want everyone to be on the same page and everyone to be happy with what's going on.
Well, Gabby's a leader, and we introduced him, and he's been an ever-present for us since he's come back in, as is Michael Boswick. And obviously Ben, I think I would also put him in that same category. They're out-and-out leaders and out-and-out winners, and Connor Washington's back on form, so you start to have a look at that and you've got a really strong spine throughout the team, no matter what formation that you're playing. And they're the sort of talisman that we need if we're going to build the successful team that we know that we can do here at the club, and we'll add the other elements that we need around them. So they've been excellent, and listen, long may that continue.
Last home game then coming up, and it's probably worth reflecting on your sort of home form as manager. As you mentioned earlier, it's been pretty good, and it's probably been pretty special, hasn't it, leading the team out at the A-backs. I remember that first game against Bradford, there was plenty of pride in what you were doing, and it's been a pretty happy hunting ground for you.
Well, it's one of the things that we have done. We know that, and we've spoken to some of the supporters and people around, and they expect nothing short of 100% from our players. And our players, I think, in the 12 games that we've been in charge, I would say, barring one at Scunthorpe, they have been full of pride, full of passion, and full of commitment for this football club. And I can't ask any more than that. And the fans, that's exactly what they want. We're starting to add some of the other bits around that as well. And I think if we can continue to build that, then for me, I think the future's bright, and we're all looking forward to it.
And Harry Anderson had to go up front, didn't he, at the weekend? I know you were happy with the way he carried himself up there. Do you see that as a role for him going forward, or are you tempted to, say, bring Luke James back in there? What's the thinking?
Well, it's an option. We've got Connor Washington, who's scoring goals and in goal-scoring form again, which is brilliant, exactly where we want him to be. And we're also having a look at next year, because of what we do need is we need goals around him. The whole line of thinking was from myself was to play Harry up front at the weekend, was to make sure, especially going away to Barnsley, and with it being a big crowd, we wanted to make sure that we had the energies to play that high pressing game, and that's what he gave us, and he created himself a couple of great opportunities doing that. But he can play, listen, as a right winger, as a right wing back, and he's done well, and he's done well in all of those areas. So that's been pleasing. We can play him in a number of different ways, but Luke James is back this week. But we have had our under-21s game this week, and Han Otsuma scored an unbelievable goal, strike from 30 yards, saw the keeper off his line and chipped him. It was a fantastic goal that went in off the underside of the bar. And we also played one of our young 16-year-olds, Leonardo da Silva Lopez, and what a talent he was. It was unbelievable, the fact that even some of the players who were trained in the morning were on the side of the pitch and they were videoing some of the things he was doing. Was absolutely magnificent. So we've got options right the way across the board, attacking options, which is really exciting, and we can play with some real creativity in the side, but we'll also make sure that we need that still within us.
Is there a temptation to give the likes of Da Silva Lopez a go, maybe from the bench this weekend? Johnny Edwards, I know, came on, didn't he, for a brief stint at Barnsley, just giving those players just a taste of what it's like in front of the home crowd in a game that, as we mentioned, the points don't really matter. Yeah,
well, I spoke to our performance analyst, and the youth team this year have played 40 games and they've scored 92 goals. So from that point of view, that's excellent. There's goals in that group, and listen, we can give them an opportunity now to maybe see if they can cope with the temperament of what they've done. They've worked brilliantly with me throughout the year before coming in, so who knows, we could have a look at them. But I think that the real exciting one for me is for this weekend is the young lad Leonardo, because of I think he's a real talent, and we've wrote a letter to the school today to ask them that if he could have the day off tomorrow to train with us in preparation for Saturday's game. So it's exciting times.
So you must be, I mean, a 16-year-old thinking about giving him the chance to play first in football, you must be excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. He's good enough, and he scored a fantastic goal for me in the FA Youth Cup earlier on in the year when we beat Notts County at our place. I think quite a few people would have seen that goal because it was on the website and on the club's YouTube channel, and what a great strike it was. And he was equally as good in the under-21s game, so he's coped at all levels, and the lad's temperament, he doesn't get overwhelmed with things, so it could give us an opportunity to play him this weekend.
Was he spotted at Power League, was that right, or was that just a myth? Did someone spot him playing sort of five-a-side and then thought he was good enough?
No, he wasn't playing at Power League, he was playing for Power League, who are a local team in the Junior Alliance, and he was playing there, and we'd watched him, and we spoke to his manager, and we worked hard to get him in because we felt, especially getting him into the full-time programme, which he is in here at the school. What that does mean, he can train with the youth team, he trains with the first team regularly, and the lads have bought into him and enjoy working with him. So it's been a real quick progression for him because of the fact that he is here full time. He can come and play at all levels, and he's shown that he can cope with that.
Well, let's hope the school give him permission then, Dave.
Yeah, definitely. If not, I'll go and see their teacher myself, I think, and knock on his door and ask him.